Hey everybody, it's Emily at Arrrgh Schooling, and today I'm going to be sharing the next 3 books that we're going to be reading for the Arrrgh Booked Book Club. So the Arrrgh Booked Book Club runs from January through October, and I need to let you guys know what we're going to be reading for the months of August, September, and October. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. I'm really excited. These are 3 books that I have been either really curious about or really excited to read. So without further ado, let's talk about them. So our book for August is going to be Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. This is exactly the kind of fantasy that I love. My preferred fantasy is when it's set in our world with like elements of magic mixed in. So this is set in like Victorian London, and we're following some children who have magical abilities. They're all like brought together. I think it's like a magic school setting, and I don't really know more than that. Besides, I have heard so many people rave about this book, and I think there's a new book out already in this. I don't know if it's going to be a duology or if there's a trilogy. I don't know. But I've been wanting to read this for ages, and I'm excited that we're going to be reading it together in the month of August. So this is also a really big book. So I'm hoping it's like Babel, where I was intimidated, but then I got so sucked into the story that I didn't even realize how fast I read it. Like, I read it so fast. So I'm hoping this is similar to that. Setting-wise, it feels very similar to Babel. I've been wanting something like that for so long now. I've been like searching for something that's going to make me feel the way Babel made me feel, so I'm hoping I get that from this. So the back of the book says, England, 1882. In Victorian London, 2 children with mysterious powers are hunted by a figure of darkness, a man made of smoke. What follows is a story of wonder and betrayal from the gaslit streets of London and the wooden theatres of Meiji-era Tokyo to an eerie estate outside Edinburgh where other children with gifts, the talents, have been gathered. There the world of the dead and the world of the living threaten to collide, and as secrets within the Institute unfurl, Marlowe, Charlie, and the rest of the talents will discover the truth about their abilities and the nature of what is stalking them, that the worst monsters sometimes come bearing the sweetest gifts. I'm so excited to read this. Then in September, we're going to be reading Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich. I have been wanting to read one of Louise Erdrich's adult books for so long. I own several of them, and I just haven't gotten to them yet. So we're remedying that. I'm going to be reading this with all of you in September. So of all of Erdrich's books, this is the one that I've been the most intrigued by because it's very dystopian sounding. It says in the back that evolution stops as mysteriously as it began. Pregnancy and childbearing quickly become issues of state security. 26-year-old Cedar, the adopted daughter of an idealistic Minneapolis liberals, is as disturbed and uncertain as the rest of America, but for Cedar, this change is profound and deeply personal. She is 4 months pregnant. So this is like a thriller, dystopian kind of story based around like reproductive issues. It has some Handmaid's Tale vibes. So I'm really interested to see what Erdrich has done here. This is exactly the kind of story that I really, really like. I've been wanting some good dystopian lately. Since we're living in dystopian times anyway, I want to like get really invested in a good dystopian story. So that is what we're reading in September. And then our last book of the year, I always try to end the year on something a little bit spooky. Like, in the past, we've read like Grady Hendrix in October. So I was like, what can we read? We can read The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. This is another chunker, so I'm a little bit intimidated by this book, but also it's one that I have been like really wanting to pick up. This is a vampire story, but it's like set over the course of their life. So it says, by turns suspenseful and enchanting, this astonishing first novel weaves a story of love, family, history, and myth as seen through the eyes of one immortal woman. Colette Lessange is a lonely artist who heads an elite fine art school for children in upstate New York. Her youthful beauty masks the dark truth of her life. She has endured centuries of turmoil and heartache in the wake of her grandfather's long ago decision to make her immortal like himself. Now, in 1984, Colette finds her life upended by the arrival of a gifted child from a troubled home, the return of a stalking presence from her past, and her own mysterious growing hunger for blood. So this is sort of like the story of a vampire, how they became a vampire, how they're dealing with it now. I don't know. I've heard really good things about it. I'm really nervous about this one. This is the one that I'm like the most excited, nervous to read, because I have yet to find a vampire book that I really love. I don't think, not since The Historian have I given a vampire book 5 stars. So like, I'm hoping this has Historian vibes. It sounds like it does. If you've read The Historian, you know what I mean. Like, it's bookish. It's focused around like the history of the vampire. I want that. That's the story I'm looking for. So fingers crossed that this is a good one. And we're going to be reading this together in October. So October, September, and August, these are the books we're going to be reading together. I'm really looking forward to reading along with you guys for the rest of the year. It's been a really interesting year thus far, book-wise, book selection-wise, so I'm hoping that we all enjoy these last 3 books together before we close for 2024. So let me know down below in the comments which of these books you're the most excited to read with me and Tanya. I would love to hear about it. And I will see you guys in my next video. So happy reading. Goodbye.